Thanks, guys.
All right,
You guys miss me?
Back by popular demand, Will Howard. Start in the front.
I'm back.
Hi, Will, can you just describe your comfort level running the RPO? You seem very comfortable in that. Is that something that you had to build on in your career, or have you always kind of been comfortable in that?
Yeah, it's definitely something I've had to build on. If you watch me as a freshman, even me going back, I just wasn't very comfortable with it. Just the more that I've, kind of grown and gotten more experience in it, just feeling, demeanors of guys, is that guy triggering and coming into the box? Do I need to pull it and throw it off of him? I've just seen more and more pictures, and doing it more helps. And I think we practiced it a ton this offseason with Coach Kelly, and he puts a big emphasis on it. And I think it just helps our offense, and the better I can be with it, and the more we rep it, and the better I can be with my decisions, the more we can stay on schedule.
Well, when you made the decision to come here to Ohio State, how much did the opportunity to play in a top 3 showdown like this factor into your decision?
Oh, absolutely. When you come to a place like Ohio State, you want to play on the biggest stage. College game day. All the hype. 2 versus 3 matchup. This is what you sign up for, and this is what I was looking forward to. It's a challenge, man. It's fun. This is what college football is all about. This is what you dream about as a kid, man. Being on this stage, playing in front of a ton of people, and a ton of people watching on TV. It's a dream, man, and it's definitely a big reason why I came here.
How do you, as a quarterback, prepare yourself to play in a challenging road environment like this?
It's hard. I don't want to say there's one way to, kind of go about it. For me, it's just, preparing like I always do, and trying to, even maybe heighten, how can I be better with my preparation this week? How can I, work harder? How can I, be the first one in, last one out every single day? Maybe there's something extra I can do this week. It's a big game, and, you want to say that you don't want to treat any game more than another, but we know how big this one is, and we know it's a big matchup, and we're going to have to be on our stuff. So going into the game, man, just being poised, being confident, and, you just want to, stay neutral, stay level-headed, and be as prepared as you possibly can going into the game.
We're right behind Dan to Patrick Murphy.
Well, Coach Day was talking about your running in a big game like this and equating numbers and all that. You've obviously sort of ramped that up each week. Just how comfortable in this offense do you feel doing that as you head into this kind of game?
Yeah, very. Everything's on the docket, and we've definitely ramped it up as we've gone, and I think the design quarterback run stuff is definitely going to be more of an emphasis going forward, and I think that it adds an element to our offense, and any time that you can add something that they have to be worried about, or something extra that that can present an issue to a defense, we're going to take every advantage we can get, and I think the quarterback run stuff has been good, and I think we have a lot more up our sleeve, and I'm excited to get it out on the field, and I love doing it. I think it's fun. I think getting my pads downhill and popping people, I think it makes you feel more into the game, and I like to that first hit kind of warms you up, and it gets you going, man, and it makes you a little more juiced, and it makes it more fun.
What stands out to you the most about Oregon's defense?
I think they have a solid front. I think their front is they got some dudes. I think number 1's a really good player. In the back end, my boy Kobe from Kansas State. He's a good buddy of mine, man. So I'm excited to play against him. They got there's some talented transfers back there, and I think the thing about them is they're so multiple. They can do a lot of different things. They got a lot of good players. They want to play physical. There's a lot of different things about them that present challenges for us. But I think overall I feel good about just initially watching them, and I think there's some things that we can do that will present issues for them. I think they do have a lot of transfers in, so I know that this is their first year in the system together, and I know that factors into it a little bit, and so I think there's some different ways we can attack them, but we got a challenge, and we know that, and we're gonna have to be on our stuff, and they're a good team, so we respect them, but we're ready.
We'll go to Cameron T. Robinson.
Well, you played in big games. It's a Big 12 title game. It was a big game in Texas last year. How do those games? What do you learn from those games that prepared you for big moments like this? Like you said, your preparation is one thing, but what about the atmosphere, the week leading up to it? Can you take away from those moments and carry you through?
That's a really good question. I think it's hard to circle on one thing, that you want to focus on in these big games and you want to take away from these big games. But from my experience in playing in them, the biggest thing is staying neutral and not getting too high and getting too low, because we know the emotions are going to be running rampant in this game. We know the implications of this game. We know it's a big one. But at the end of the day, you got to stay neutral, and you can't get too high, you can't get too low. You can't let things that happen affect you. I played it. I'd say one of our biggest games last year was at Texas, and we were down 27-7 in the fourth, and we ended up tying it and going to overtime. Like, I've learned, you just can never say die, and you can never be up by too much either. It goes both ways, and you have to understand that the situations really matter, and that one play can make the difference in a game, and every single play really matters. And in a matchup game like this, we're really focused on that, and want to make sure that we take every opportunity we get to capitalize on opportunities.
Go over here to Adam King.
It's been kind of a tiered schedule for you to kind of ease into this. Now it obviously goes to a whole different level. Do you think that's been helpful to you? Do you feel like it's gotten you ready for what's to come on Saturday?
Yeah, I think for me, man, it's the way our schedule's set up. I can't control that, so we're just going to play who's in front of us. But I do think that working up in terms of competition, does it give you a little more leeway with things? But it's for me, I don't really focus on that as much. I'm just kind of worried about, hey, how can we beat this team that we're playing this week, and do everything that we can that week. And obviously, the bigger games are looming. But at the same time, you don't want to overlook anyone or get past anyone. So it's kind of just taking it 1 week at a time. But I do think that, the way that this season has set up has definitely, allowed us to kind of get more comfortable and get better every single week. And I think it has set up pretty well.
The fourth row, Andy Baxter.
Yeah, Will, Oregon gets a lot of pressure on opponents so far this season. What do you like about your game against pressure, and where have you grown over your career facing a good pass rush?
Yeah, I think, my ability to kind of stand in there and make throws when I have guys in my face has gotten a lot better. And the only way to get better at that is doing it. I've been in a lot of situations where I've had to, stand in there, take a hit, and make a throw. And, I think, definitely they got some dudes over there. Are they going to make plays? Absolutely. Are they going to, try and present some tough looks for us in the front game? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm super, confident in my O-line. I think we got the best O-line in the country, and they're playing at a really, really high level right now. And I'm excited for them. I think they're gonna take on that challenge. And I know that. But for me, I mean, it's just staying under pressure, or staying calm under pressure, keeping my feet in the ground. Not throwing off my back foot too much. And I've gotten better at it. I think I definitely still could be better. You're never going to be perfect, but that's definitely something we're gonna need to be worried about this game. And they got some good guys up front, so we got to be worried about the twists and picking up the blitz and the stunts and whatnot. But man, I got all the faith in the world in my O-line.
We'll go right behind him to Spencer Holbrook.
Will, do you have a favorite throw to Emeka from Saturday, considering all three of the touchdowns had to be kind of perfect there for him?
That's tough. I'd say probably the one in the back left corner, the second one, the wheel route that I threw. I just felt like that was kind of a tight window throw, and we had worked that exact look. And I kind of missed the throw during the week, so it was really nice to get that opportunity back and get the chance to put it in there and put it on him. I think that was probably my favorite, but I mean, Mech was out there balling, man. I think, a lot of people, when they see what Jeremiah is able to do and they see what Q and Trey are able to do, Mech gets forgot about almost, and he reminded some people, of how good he is.
What did you throw in on Saturday? Not that anybody doubted whether you could make those type of throws, but to be able to kind of, rip them, show them off a little bit. What is that like watching those back on film for you?
It builds confidence for sure. It's like, even when the coverage is tight, it doesn't matter. I can put the ball there those guys are going to make plays. And, at the end of the day, it just builds confidence looking back at those things. And it's fun to sit here in the team meeting on Sunday and watch those plays back and, understand that, the work that we've been putting in is paying off. And just got to continue to make plays and make them on a more consistent basis and, iron out the mistakes.
Fourth row middle, Tony Vertigo.
Well, you talked about playing in big games and big moments. How do you balance that any play can change, or any game can change on one play, with wanting to make that play versus not wanting to do too much?
That's good. That's a good question. Balancing that is huge, and you got to know when to, take your medicine, if you will, and just kind of take the check down and not force things. There's this balance between forcing and capitalizing, and you don't want to force something, try and make something happen, but you got to take advantage and capitalize when those opportunities are there. And that's the game that you got to play. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, and there's no doubt, man. So that's the game that we're playing, and we definitely want to go downhill and run a little bit. We want to take some shots, and that's every game. So we gotta know when to hit them and when to kind of take our medicine and check it down.
We'll do two more, Austin. Go ahead.
Well, when you're talking about Emeka and those catches, what's your favorite part of his game?
Man, I think his versatility is what makes him so good. Like Mecca's just one of those guys that, and he'll never complain. Like if he doesn't score a touchdown and JJ and Carnell have 4, like he will not say a word. He'll be happy as ever for those guys. He goes out and blocks. I mean, you saw it in the Michigan State game. I mean, he was pancaking dudes in the secondary, like pancaking linebackers. Like he can do so much, and he can line up in the backfield. We can have him run the ball from the backfield. His versatility presents so many challenges for a defense, and you never know how he's going to hit you. If he's going to run inside, run outside. He runs unbelievable routes. Got great hands. I mean, there's not many bad things that you can say about the kid.
So we'll wrap it up with Joey Kaufman.
Will, you and Dylan are both, in terms of eligibility, super seniors. Where does that extra experience help you?
I think on situations where, you gotta, like I just said, you gotta know when to take your shots and when to not. And, I think I've done a pretty good job this year of keeping us on schedule and keeping us out of bad plays. I think there's been probably 1 or 2 plays a week that I'm like, man, you really can't make that mistake. You want it back. And obviously that's, something we just got to continue to grind on. And just something I can't do, turning the ball over obviously is a problem like that. But for the most part, it's just, decision making for me. It's like keeping us on schedule, knowing when to take a shot, knowing when to check it down, knowing when to force a ball into a tight window or not. It's all those little things that go into it. It's not, it's kind of hard to zero in on one thing because, it's just, experience is experience, and, you can't really replicate doing things until you're out there actually doing it, and me and Dylan have definitely been, through a lot of football games. So, I think that's something I try to lean on, yeah.
What do you remember about the 22 game?
What do I remember about him?
Yeah, from seeing him.
Yeah, no, he's a great player. I'm buddies with him. He's a good guy. Man, he's a good player, man. He can sling it. The ball comes out of his hand well. I think he played a good game that year against us, and at the end of the day, we just outlasted him. But yeah, he's a good player, man. He's a dude for sure. So I'm excited for the opportunity to go against him in this big matchup.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Go Bucks.